All right, new video today. And before we get started, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video. This video is brought to you by Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch is changing the way men approach hygiene by providing natural, healthy products. I've worked with Dr. Squatch before on this channel, doing it again because right out the gate, I fell in love with their soap. Feels good while you're using it in the shower. You smell great when you come out of the shower. And if you can't feel good and smell great during and after a shower, then why are we here? Well, the fact that they're all about natural ingredients, but their soaps, no harsh chemicals. Good, clean feeling, natural soap doing its part to scrub off the feeling of the past year. Of the ones they gave me, I feel like they gave me their A game here. I love them all, but I'm gonna go with Cool Fresh Aloe. This really does smell like a nice summer day where the hills are alive with the sound of music. So click the link below and new customers get 20% off their orders of $20 or more. And thank you once again to Dr. Squatch for sponsoring this video. I do appreciate it. All right, now finally, I'm gonna talk about Castlevania Season 4. A lot of requests. I totally get it. Understand, if I were you, I'd be requesting too. In fact, I requested this of myself. I'd look in the mirror before I went to bed and I was like, Jeremy, why the fuck haven't you done a video on Castlevania Season 4? Fuck Jeremy, why? But okay, Castlevania Season 4, let's talk about it. So Castlevania Season 4 is the newest season of Castlevania on Netflix. It supposedly is gonna be the last season. I mean, technically, I guess. That said, I'm really satisfied with how Season 4, thus this series, has ended. And I've had a pretty good time with the series itself. Not just a pretty good time. I have a lot of good memories with it, because I never thought I would see a Castlevania series. Ever. At all. So I've enjoyed it. Some seasons more than others. I mean, let's just be real. Season 3 kind of stands out as the one that's set up for Season 4. But all in all, good time. Also, spoiler warning, because I'm going to talk about spoilers in this season. You know, so you've been warned. So Season 4 starts out where Season 3 ended, which is pretty much Sypha and Trevor being like, okay, well, you know what? We're gonna go on adventures. Trevor's like, we tried it your way, now we're gonna try it mine, however he phrased it. Starts out with a montage of them killing demons and baddies and things you recognize from Castlevania. Also, someone sent a messenger to Alucard that's pretty much, please help our town. So he goes to help these refugees, these people in this town, in which he runs across Saint Germain. And the way all these plots circle back into each other and intertwine, I thought was really satisfying for me. Man, I'm jumping around, but I really like Hector and Isaac and their stories, and you think it's gonna go one way, it actually goes another. That's what I like about the show. It surprises with the characters, but really, if you look at their characters, they shouldn't be surprises. Isaac's always been effectively brutal in the sense that he can kill people, he can dispatch folks, very effectively do so, but that's not what I think of when I think of Isaac. I think of Isaac, the philosophical mind, the deep thinker, the philosopher, which is why when Hector's like, all right, Isaac's definitely gonna kill me, and Isaac has all of his monsters storming Carmilla's castle. I liked when Isaac was like, revenge is a child's game. It's up to us to be better than children. So no, I didn't see it coming, but I definitely should have. But you know, it's a TV show, so you don't know if it's like, okay, he's philosophical and all that, but he's still gonna do his revenge because entertainment. I was glad he didn't. I was glad he was like, nah, I think we're just gonna be better. That said, I'm gonna kill Carmilla, because she's a dick. And I liked how Carmilla went out. She was like, yeah, fuck you. And she stakes herself like, that's how she would go out. If she saw that she had no way out, she would definitely kill herself to A, not give the person who's attacking her the satisfaction, and B, her exploding body might just take the enemy out. And Hector's been playing the long con, or at least making lemonade out of a lemon shit situation. While he's basically the whipped into shape puppy dog, he's Theon Greyjoy. He's Reek. He's playing nice, and you actually get the sense that he and his hot vampire chick captor, whose name completely escapes me right now, they do have a thing, at least from his point of view. She keeps telling Carmilla, oh yeah, he's a pet, he's a nothing. But in terms of how she sees it, could have fooled me. But he's playing nice while he's scheming, putting little rune rocks in the cracks in the brick. He meant it for his escape, uses it to help Isaac out. Even cuts his finger off, becomes Frankie Four Fingers. I like the conclusion that these characters gave, or these characters got, but gave us, in a world where largely Season 3 was the setup for that, and Season 3 still does feel like a setup season. I was really satisfied with the payoff here. Season 4, the action, there was a sizable amount of it, a fulfilling amount of it. It's all coming to a head, man. So whether it's Carmilla's sisters, one of them gearing out in her daytime armor, tearing dudes up, Belmont and Sypha, tearing people up like Sypha's OP as hell. Again, like she always is. You play Castlevania 3 with Sypha, take on bosses, Dracula, yeah, you're gonna beat them. Her magic's busted. So I was always glad that the show showed that. I also like the fact that Alucard felt more like Alucard. We get some costume upgrades this time around. Alucard didn't just have a coat like the previous seasons. He had his cape, he had his shield. And he also has, you know, when he does his double jump, Well, I guess when it's not in a video game, it's not called a double jump. It's just called jumping high. When he does it, his cape turns into wings like it does in Symphony of the Night. It makes it feel more like Alucard. Also, among the fact that once again, there's a big bad scheme about people trying to raise Dracula, the baddie in this one, right? This is where the spoilers come in. You've already been warned, but I'm giving you one more chance to turn away. The big baddie in season 4 is Death, which I'm glad Death makes an appearance because Death is a very important part of all the Castlevania games. Think of that Castlevania game. Think of the biggest dick boss battle. Yeah, it was probably Death, wasn't it? Right. So many rage quits with Death fights. So he's not actually Death, he's more like a Soul Reaver. But you know, Death. I will say I was bummed out that Trevor didn't actually go out. Like, he goes out sacrificing himself. I thought that was great. But I was like, oh no, he didn't actually go out, which I know there needs to be other Belmonts, but Sypha was already pregnant with his child. It's one of those, hey, big sacrifice at the end. Psych. Well, technically it was a sacrifice, but you know, I guess I can come back. Which I guess if Sypha just raised their kid, he'd be, you know, a mage like Sypha. So I guess he needs dad to show him the ropes, you know, the way of the whip. And a compelling thing that I think about is the fact that Dracula and Lisa, they've been released. You know, Death's plan fails. You know, Death's gonna raise them into one body and they're just both gonna go mad. And so, okay, a lot of people are just gonna get destroyed and die. And Death's like, I'm going to suck up all the souls, you know, like a Soul Reaver. That falls to shit. And among all that, Lisa and Vlad, they're now released into the world and they're just kind of living their lives away from all this. There's a part of me that's like, so is Castlevania just done forever? You know, we don't get Rondo, we don't get Symphony of the Night, so Dracula is just okay, he's fine now. And that's an interesting philosophy, if not warning, that this entire series of Castlevania's had. Dracula enacts this whole thing, you know, to wipe out all of humanity on Earth because human beings killed his wife. And then even after he's dead, people are trying to resurrect him like, okay, man, let's keep it going. And he hasn't given a fuck to do that. When you put a thought out there, when you speak in anger, people will run with your words even after you don't believe them anymore. It's a form of chaos you don't have control over. So just be warned of the bells you ring, because you can't unring a bell. The point is, I've enjoyed my time with Castlevania on Netflix, and I thought season 4 was a great season. I felt season 4 did a good job of it being Castlevania, and Castlevania to me just speaks as Dracula as the antagonist. But he's not, and this was the first season where that was the case, where I didn't actually miss Dracula. Season 3, I missed Dracula. I was like, man, I feel that loss. I feel the loss of his presence here. Season 4 has enough going on that is an extension of the story of Dracula without having Dracula, but you still also have Death. Saint Germain. He's kind of an extension of the story of Dracula, you know? So he's lost someone he loves, he wants to get them back, and he sacrifices his soul to try to do that. And that's a satisfying way of showing an extension of the story of Dracula without having Dracula actually in it as the antagonist. And season 4 was the best season, I think, since 1. Especially for closing the book. You know, the logistics are like, well, it's the last season, but we might have more in the universe. Which could mean, like, you mean you're doing other Castlevania stories with other Belmonts, which you definitely should do. Probably should have done by now. But I'm down for that possibility. In fact, the way this ends, you can bring in Soma Cruz, which could really blow some minds. But we'll see where it goes from here. All right, so Castlevania Season 4, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.